Hey everybody, so this is a Samsung Galaxy Fold 2, one of my favorite devices of the year. Now I was a very early adopter of the foldable phone, back when a lot of people were still asking, I don't see what's the point of the foldable phone. And to be honest, I've always just didn't get why people didn't get why foldables are needed, because this is a almost tablet sized screen that I can fold in half and put into my pocket. And likewise, I have a bicycle that also folds in half, so it's a full-size bike that can fold into something smaller that I can put in a tight space in Hong Kong. So foldables make sense because they save space. And that's exactly why I'm so excited about this laptop that I'm using. This is the Lenovo X1 Fold, and looks like just another laptop, right? But nope, you pull this keyboard out, it is a foldable screen, a foldable tablet, laptop, whatever the heck you want to call it. Alright guys, I'm back with this exciting device. So the full name of this product is called the Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Fold. So we'll go over the hardware real quick. I guess the first thing you notice is that this is quite a chunky boy. Indeed it is. So this thing measures 1.1 inches when fully folded. So that's basically thicker than any laptop or iPad tablet on the market. But considering that this is a Gen 1 of a cutting-edge product never before seen in this product category, I think we can excuse the heft for now, because the thickness doesn't matter as much, because the height and the width is actually the deciding factor of whether or not this device can fit into a small bag. And this can indeed fit into, not just even a laptop sleeve obviously, but even a smaller bag, because the form factor is not that far off from just like a traditional novel. So, I mean, it's a little bit bigger, but relatively the same size. So if you carry a book around, you can carry this thing around. So as I already showed off, when you open it up, you get a traditional laptop mode. You have a screen OLED display right here and a keyboard. This keyboard is removable because it's super thin. And then once you remove that, it automatically becomes a 13.3 inch tablet. Now I know the screen right now is flickering, but that's just my camera's shutter speed unable to catch up with the display. To my eyes, there's no flickering whatsoever, and when I shoot with my better camera for B-rolls, there's no flickering there too. It's just this particular vlog camera that I use. So this is a 13.3 inch 2K resolution OLED display, and man, viewing angles, colors, everything look great, except maximum brightness is a little bit weak. It only maxes out at about 240 nits. So when you're using this by the window and the sun shining at it, or when you're trying to use this outdoors, it will be a little bit tough to use. But the beauty of the screen is there's not much of a noticeable crease. Even when you run your finger through this part where it folds, you don't really feel the crease that you usually would feel on a Samsung Galaxy Fold like I have here. On the Galaxy Fold 2, you can see the crease as soon as you tilt the display sideways, and you can definitely feel it when you move your finger through it. So this is really nice engineering on the Lenovo's part to completely remove the crease. You really cannot see it unless you're really digging for it. Now let's go over the internal components really quick. Now this runs on Intel's Core i5, but this is the Lakefield CPU, so it's a hybrid CPU with an integrated GPU, so it's not as powerful as the typical Intel i5, i7s that you would get from a top-end laptop, like a top-end ThinkPad or a top-end MacBook, Microsoft Surface, any of that. But I've used this thing for about 3 hours so far, and everything has been running fine. I was able to write an article on this thing without any issues. I'll get to the typing experience a little bit later. So inside is a 50 watt-hour battery. Now that's not that large by the standards of most other laptops, and so far for me, I've only been using it for 3 hours, and I can already tell battery life's not going to be amazing. It's not going to be a device that can last me all day, because when I unboxed the thing and I started using it, the battery was at about like 55% or something. After 3 hours of use, it's already down to like 20 something. So I'm guessing on a full charge, you're probably getting no more than like 6 hours of use max. But the good news is, if you need to charge, it's relatively easy, because this thing charges via USB-C, and there's 2 USB-C ports. So there's one here on the side, and there's also one, where the heck is it? It's down here. So the reason there's 2, it's because this is a transforming device. You're not just using this thing on a desk in one position. You could be holding it in tablet in portrait mode, or you might be using it on a desk like this, or you might be using it on a desk like this. So that's why there's 2 ports, so no matter which position your machine is on, there's probably a port that's relatively close to your left hand side. Now there's 8 gigs of DDR4X RAM in here with storage up to 1 terabyte, but I believe this base model starts at 512 gigs. So as I said, performance has been mainly okay. My gripes of the performance, whatever they may be right now, are not with Lenovo but with Microsoft, because Windows 10, which is running on here, in my opinion, it's just not a good tablet software. Like if you used an iPad Pro or even an Android tablet and you come back to a Windows tablet, it's just really annoying. Like the orientation doesn't switch as smoothly. It takes like a second delay, and even when you jump into tablet mode, the buttons are really small. It's like Microsoft never really optimized this for fingers. It's still meant to be used with a mouse or a trackpad. But that's okay, because Lenovo has thought of that with this super thin and lightweight keyboard. Check out how thin this is. And despite how thin this is, you get relatively decent key travels, and I've been able to type okay on this. You know, I'm a really fast touch typer, so maybe that helps. And yeah, like I said, I was writing an article on this without any issue. So the Bluetooth keyboard connects automatically, and when it's in tablet mode, so you just pull out this little flap as a kickstand, prop this on a table, you have yourself a 13-inch screen off which to do work. 13 inches big enough for most, you know, even real office work. And because the keyboard's separate, you can have this, you can place this higher if you like, for better ergonomics. So I really like the flexibility. Speaking of flexibility, if you don't want to work off a table, if you want to take this to a park bench or on a subway train or even on the back of a taxi, then you close the flap, fold it up like this, put the keyboard on, it snaps on magnetically, and as soon as you snap the keyboard on, the screen basically shrinks in half, and now you have, I don't know the exact dimensions of this, but this feels like it's like 9-10 inches. So you have a 9-inch, 10-inch screen. So now you have a machine that's small enough to do work even when you're on a cramped bus, or maybe you're on a plane. This can fit into an airplane tray table. Now this trackpad unfortunately is quite tiny, but I can find that I can still maneuver everything okay. It's not going to be the best trackpad to use, so if you have a mouse, you're still going to want to use that. But I think in a pinch, for just like an hour, 2 hours at a time, I think it's okay. Now you might have already saw, but Lenovo also built a stylus for this machine, and that's another technological breakthrough, because you know, foldable screens are supposed to be more fragile. There were rumors that Samsung was going to put in an S Pen stylus into the Fold 2, but Samsung couldn't do it at the end because ultimately the screen is just a little bit too soft to have a tablet kept jamming on the top without damaging the screen. I think that's what Samsung's concerned about. But Lenovo has figured out a way to get it done. So this stylus works perfectly fine on the screen. I sketched a little bit, I took some notes, everything's been working fine. Now, the latency of this pencil is not as good as the Apple Pencil. Like when I'm scribbling really fast, I can see the movement of the pen strokes fall behind my actual hand movement, but it's not too bad that it's distracting, and the palm rejection software is quite good. And the stylus loops into this Bluetooth keyboard just like so, and as I already mentioned, snaps on to the tablet like this. Then you can fold it and you have your entire package right here. So with just this small package, it weighs 2.2 pounds, so it's not too heavy. So with just this entire package, you're getting essentially a laptop size screen, 13.3 inch, or a mini ultrabook device, or a tablet with a stylus support. So you can take notes, you can draw, you can do whatever the heck you want. And this is a level of versatility that I like. Unfortunately, this thing is really pricey. You know, Gen 1 foldables always like that. So this device, without the keyboard or the stylus, just this right here costs $2,500 US. If you want to get the keyboard and the stylus, that's another like $200 or $300. So you're looking at something that's like $2,800 or $2,900 for this entire set that I'm talking about. So this is definitely not cheap, and for most consumers this will probably be a deal breaker. But if you have the money to spend, if you're into technology, and if you're someone who, you know, your work usage habits require you to switch constantly between laptop and tablet, or you need to work on the go a lot, this still might be worth considering. I mean, honestly, this is a demo unit on loan from Lenovo, but if Lenovo did not loan me this, I seriously was looking into buying one just to test, because you know, I'm a sucker for foldable tech. I paid $1,400 for the Microsoft Duo even though the software is terrible. I paid more than above market price for the original Galaxy Fold because to me, in my opinion, like I said at the beginning of the video, foldable tech is the future. I really like the space that it saves. I have a tablet screen right here, it fits into my pocket. I have a big bike, I can fold it, it fits into a tiny Hong Kong apartment. I have this thing here that's no bigger than a paperback book, but it can give me a 13.3 inch display. I'm excited for Gen 2 because Gen 2, it's probably going to be thinner, it's probably going to be cheaper. But you know what? I wish Lenovo would give us an even bigger screen. Like this is 13.3 inch unfolded, maybe give us something like 18 inch. And that when you fold, it becomes like the size of an iPad Air. Like imagine if you have this thing, but you can unfold it and you have a screen that stretches like that. I'm really excited for the future, and I'm just glad we have companies like Lenovo and Samsung that are pushing the tech forward. This is not for everybody. I know a lot of people are gonna scoff at the chip, scoff at the price, but again, somebody needs to innovate and push the tech ahead for, you know, the industry to move forward, and I'm really damn glad this thing exists. So anyway, that's about it for this first look with the Lenovo X1 Fold. This is not a review because I've only been using it for 3 hours, but so far, man, I'm loving this thing. So I'm gonna have more content coming up. Probably gonna do a full review on this, and then I'm gonna have several other devices that I'm testing right now that I can't talk about yet, but you know, maybe in a week or so I'll have a video up. So if you're interested in more content like this, please subscribe to my channel or follow me on Instagram at Ben's Gadget Review. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching.